grab my gear, load the truck. Heading out, don't give a truck. Rifles locked, boots tied tight. Gonna catch that deer all through the night. Hunting in the highland hill, chasing dreams and catching thrills. The wind is howling, the game is near. In the woods, our favorite place, my dear. Hunting in the highland hill.
So looky what I've got. It is a nice little black box. What's inside the little black box, Mr. Tulloch? Well, it is the TNC from DNT, the TNC 225R Thermnight. It is a multi-spectral night vision scope, basically. It's got thermal, it's got night vision, and it's got day vision. So this is pretty much your Zulus, but on steroids. So here we go. I'm going to see what's inside the box. I've taken the wrapper already off, so pretty much we can get straight in there. What I'm hoping to do is get this mounted on the mount today, and we'll have a look. We'll go through what I've got here, and then on a later video we'll actually go through the setting up, the zeroing, and various other things that when it comes to it. I'm thinking I'm going to put this one on the 243, and that kind of covers all the bases from top end to bottom end. So let's see what we got. First of all, we got our nice little brochure. Look how sexy that is. It's got a nice glossy feel. It's got our instructions. It tells some nice pictures of various things. Tells us what various bits are. And I might do a wee video going through the actual instructions. But you guys know me. I pretty much don't really care about that sort of thing. So, instructions, what are they for? Bye-bye. We have our cleaning cloth. Very, very nice, very high-end, good quality. Something you would expect from most manufacturers these days is some cleaning cloths and a little bit of merchandise just to kind of show that you have purchased something. I usually keep these good. I've got like Zeiss ones and stuff like that, and they're all sitting in a drawer. One day they'll be worth more than what the scope is, probably. So what else? Ooh, nice foamy kind of velvety feel bit just for the brochure itself. So we'll put that aside. We'll keep that good because I've got to send this back. This is not mine. I don't get to keep it. I get this for 30 days and that's about it. So set that aside, keep it nice. We have the obligatory eye cup. I-C-U-P, eye cup, not A. This is for your diopter. Rubber screws on, just like the Zulus' ones. Good quality box, very high-end box. What do we got here? We have the TNC itself, the Thermnight. So nice Thermnight logo there. We have a series of buttons. It feels a little bit heavier than the Zulus. It actually feels a good bit heavier than the Zulus. There's a few features that have changed on it. For instance, there's a rubber cap for the USB port. There is no cap for putting a memory card. That is strange. So they must have built-in memory. I will have a look at all the specs to see, because on the Zulus you'd have to put a memory card in. This, from what I gather looking at the things online, it's a rubber cap instead of a flip-up cap. Now this main lens here is actually your thermal unit, and this is your night and day vision unit. So when you're measuring for your ballistic calculator, you don't take this as your main scope. This little scope here is your main scope. This is your IR and your rangefinder. So as I said, it's multispectral. It's got, I think it's got zoom for day and night vision at 5-20. It's got a good bit of weight to it. It's got a little Picatinny rail there for external IR, which you probably wouldn't need because it's thermal. And the IR on here is a V-cell, which is actually very good. So this is your IR. There's your rangefinder. So IR, rangefinder, thermal, that one there, and that little one there is your objective for your night and day vision. Your usual mount at the bottom, and there is a layout of your scope. But we'll get into in a later video me setting this up. All I'm going to do is going to show you what's in the box and mount the mounts to the scope. So what else do we have in the box? We have something that is really hard to get out. Give me a second, I will get this out without damaging the box. After a fair bit of shaking, I can now reveal what is in this little brown box. So in this little brown box we have, well, first of all, we've got the USB kit. That's everything in this big box here. So we can put that aside for a second. We'll talk about that box in a minute. So what's inside this little box? Let's just empty it out. Little box, that'll be the mount. We'll throw that over there. And we have our 20 MOE mount. Oh. This fits onto the bottom of the scope, just like that. And we mount it to a rifle. So the thing that we're going to do today is we are going to run, because that sounds like a fire alarm, but no we're not. We are going to mount the scope to the specs that they ask us to mount the scope and make sure there's no damage. So here we have, you got your mount. So that's what we're going to do today. As you see, if I go a little bit closer, it tells us that what our inch pounds are. So it's 35 inch pounds. So my little torque wrench, this one, actually goes in NM. So 35 inch pounds is around about 4 NM. So as you see, I have, genuinely that is kind of normal. So this has already been set up for when I mounted the Zulus to the 270. So genuinely around about 4 NM is about normal for these bases. And I think that's for like standard across the board as well, because if I remember correctly, even when I was mounting things like the pulsar units and that to their mounts, they were around about 35 inch pounds, which is around about 4 NM anyway. I always do it a little bit less because I don't like going up to the full spec. One thing I have to say is I tend to use most of the equipment to mount these when I've got them on review like this. I tend to use what is in the box. Obviously, putting it to the right torque, I kind of have to do that. So that you don't get one of these in the box. This is something I purchased slightly separately. However, when it comes to things like IRs, I don't mount my own IR on a test item. I don't do any kind of additional stuff. For instance, I won't even use the USB the USB cables that I've got, which I've got plenty in these style, in these C-type USBs. I will use this for whatever activity I need it, whether it's transferring data or whether it's charging or whatever. These, I tend to use the cables that come in the box. That's because I have to send this back to the manufacturing condition or reasonable condition after testing. So if there is any faults with it, then a manufacturer can't say that it was me that caused the fault or there's any human error in it. So this is why I go through this process with every single item that I get. So first of all, mounting how do we mount it? Well, basically the rail's got a groove section there, in there, and that slots in. Now, that's back to front. The fat bit off the mount, off the rail mount, it goes to the front. So that goes to the objective. You set your length. I usually just generically set it right to the back, and I allow to do the adjustment on pull or eye relief on the rail itself. But if you've got a shorter rail or a different style and not a bolt action, or if you've got a AR style or whatever, you'll probably want you've got quite a good length here. You've got another extra hole here, an extra 2 holes here, so that you can adjust it on the rail. So drop the screws in. People hate watching me screw things up because they think I am useless at it. And the reason for it is because I am useless at it. I am not a practical guy when it comes to doing a lot of kind of technical stuff. Using a screwdriver is not something that I enjoy. So as someone who doesn't like using a screwdriver, I am going to try and do this. And the other thing about it is do you know how hard it is to do this on video? Try to keep this in shot. So I don't tighten them up. That's for the torque wrench. I am just putting them loose for anybody who is watching. I put them loose, finger tight. What would be finger tight? And I'm using the Allen key provided, which is absolute fiddly when you're videoing at the same time. I'm not going to start singing. You'll all tune out if I start singing. So do it that way, easier. Easier on camera when I could. So you get the gist of that. Getting closer to the front of the mount. So just finger tight there, and that's the mount. It's not fitted yet. We need to torque it up. We've already got our torque screwdriver all set up. That is obviously it's an Allen key. It's not a Torx. So first one. Last one. Just alternate. I don't do it 1, 2, 3, 4. I do it usually 1, 4, 2, 3. So do that to one click, and then just to double check, because obviously it'll allow for it to settle in. Go through the process again, backwards. Just to make sure it's all torqued. So there we go. That's it. All torqued, ready to go, and ready to be mounted on the rifle. Screw the cap in. It's good for eye relief. It also gives you a little bit of protection if you get a little bit too close to the scope on the bigger rifles. Good thing about these is they do still fall off, by the way. You just got to watch for vibration or whatever. Eventually they will slide off. I've lost one on one of the Zulus and I had to get it replaced. So here's your Thermnight. That is the Thermnight DNT Optics. And let's get it mounted, and we'll do that on another video and we take it for a play. So that's it, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. What else can I say? So my first impressions of the unit is good quality. It's got a good weight to it, it's got a good balance to it, even though it's going to be offset on the rifle. Actually, this weight is going to be pretty good for some of the bigger rifles that I feel when you put the Zulus on is a little light on the back end and very front heavy, which I don't mind because it kind of suits my style of shooting. I don't think, like, this is a little bit heavier than say a normal day scope. It's got 3 optics in one, so there's not, and laser rangefinder and IR, and so you're going to expect a bit of weight. It takes a flat top 18650 battery, like the Zulus, so it's pretty much the same. These are the batteries I've been using. I am going to invest in some bigger, powerful ones because I've found in a few problems with these ones, but these were a needs must at the time. It's only 3600 mAh. So there it is, the DNT Optics TNC 225R with laser rangefinder on its mount, ready to rock and roll. If you're interested in the journey I'm going to have over the next 30 days with this, please like and subscribe. Ignore my squeaking off my squeaky chair, but please like and subscribe, and just comment what you want to see, how you want to see it. This is probably going to go on the 243, which because I've got a Zulus on the 270, I've got a Zulus on the 223. Now I have a Thermnight. How sexy is that? A Thermnight on a 243, and we're going to have a play, we're going to have fun, and we are going to hopefully shoot some deer, some foxes, wherever, and if I've got enough time I'll throw it on a rimfire and we'll take it rabbiting and see what's going on there. So we've got a interesting 30 days coming up, an interesting 30 days.